Hey, what's up, guys? It's Andrew Santowski giving you another UFC Fight Night prediction video, this time between Marina Rodriguez against Amanda Lemos. And this fight night goes down today, Saturday, November 5th, 2022. Prelims begin at 4 p.m., so about 6 hours from now. Kind of a weak card for November, but Novembers typically have kind of a weaker card, but there's still some decent fights on here that I'd want to see. And like I said, a night of fights is better than no fights at all. So let's get into it, guys. A lot of weight misses for this event. Ramona Pascual against Tamires Vidal, and Vidal, I believe she has fought. No, she has not fought. She's got some wins in LFA here by heel hook, decision. And like I said, she is a bantamweight fighter. Going up against Ramona Pascual, and she's fought 2 or 3 times in the UFC already. 2 losses, so I think she's only fought twice. And I'm going to side with her here. She's a big girl, and she's fought at featherweight both times. She missed this bantamweight limit. It's got to be tough for her. I'm going to side with Pascual. Just think she's kind of just a stronger athlete here. She's got the UFC experience already. And I'm going to side with her here. Jake Hadley against Carlos Candelario. Hadley had a tough out in his last fight. I don't think anybody expected that. Alan Nascimento was a massive flyweight fighter, and he just really controlled Hadley there. Carlos Candelario, he's on a 2-fight losing streak here. He lost to Tatsuo Taira and Victor Altamirano in the Contender Series. And I just think they're feeding him here to Jake Hadley here to get Jake Hadley a win. So I'm going to side with Jake Hadley here. Fight that I'm kind of intrigued by. Johnny Munoz Jr. against Ludovic Shalowin. And Munoz Jr., man, I picked him his last fight, and he just got knocked out early by Tony Gravely. I mean, 1 minute into the fight. And a lot of people were taking Munoz there, and he just did not look good. Ludovic Shalowin, I didn't think he looked all that bad against Jack Shore. That was a long time ago. That was over a year ago, that fight. But I didn't think he looked too bad. He got really outnumbered on strikes. But I felt like, you know, he wasn't totally outclassed. But I'm going to side with Munoz Jr. here, man. But this fight, nothing would surprise me. And Jinyu Frey against Pauliana Viana. Viana's got a really good ground game, but Jinyu Frey is kind of the better all-around fighter, in my opinion. I'm going to side with Jinyu Frey here. Mario Bautista against Benito Lopez. He hasn't fought since 2018. Or, I'm sorry, 2019. So we're talking about almost 3.5 years this guy has not fought. And he's going up against a decent bantamweight fighter, in my opinion. Mario Bautista, man, he's a pretty well-rounded fighter. And I'm going to side with him here, man. I feel like he's going to find a submission or a finish against Benito Lopez. Miranda Maverick against Shayna Young. I feel like this fight is set up for Miranda Maverick to get a win here. She's nasty, man. She's a really good fighter. And I think she's going to totally outclass Shayna Young. Probably find a submission or a TKO finish in the second round. Derek Minner against Shylon Nuerdanbieke, and I'm not going to doubt this Nuerdanbieke. He got a nice one over TJ Brown. Sean Soriano before that lost to Kulabau. We know how good Kulabau has looked in his last fight. Derek Minner, I would say the highlight on this guy's record is beating he lost to Ryan Hall in a fight that he just totally messed up in. He gave that one away. But he's beat Laramie, he's beat Charles Rosa, so he's got some decent wins. But his cardio has always been an issue here. I'm just going to side with Nuerdanbieke here. Mark Madsen against Grant Dawson, a fight that I look forward to as well. I'm going to side with Mark Madsen here, man. I'm going to say his grit gets it done. Dawson missed weight. Here this guy used to fight at 145, and now he can't even make the lightweight limit. So something's up, man. I'm going to side with Mark Madsen here. Tagir Ulanbekov against Nate Maness. I just haven't been impressed with Tagir since he's been in the UFC. Couldn't even beat up the washed couldn't even beat the washed-up Tim Elliott in his last fight. Nate Maness, I mean, I saw a photo that was circulating for his flyweight cut, and he looked bad. You know, it looked scary to see. I'm going to give him a doubt here, man. I like the way this guy fights. I do. His fight against Tony Gravely, man. I was just so impressed with that guy, man. So impressed. Beat Luke Sanders. He's beat some tough guys. Munoz Jr., Sanders, Gravely. Even if he can't win here, I'd like to see him go back up to bantamweight, man. I mean, the guy was doing okay. There's no shame in losing to Nurmagomedov, man. You know? So, I'm going to side with Nate Maness here. Let's see what he can do at flyweight. It's always a risk when a guy cuts down, I know. But, hey, even if he loses, go back up to bantamweight, man. You know, just because you lost to a top guy just doesn't, you know, don't be disappointed in yourself, you know? So, I'm going to start with Nate Maness here. Let's see what he can do at flyweight. Josh Parisian against Chase Sherman. Two guys I really don't trust. Chase Sherman got a much-needed win in his last fight against Jared Vandera. Josh Parisian, he's looked good at times, looked bad at times. Nice win over Alan Baudet in a fight that I was on as well. I was on Baudet, like a lot of guys, just thinking that Parisian was just... I'm going to start with Parisian here, man. Neil Magny against Daniel Rodriguez. I was leaning Magny at first. I'm going to start with Rodriguez. Magny's got a huge reach advantage. I don't know. These guys are both in their mid-30s. Welterweight, hovering just north of the top 10. I'm going to side with D-Rod here. Marina Rodriguez against Amanda Lemos. Unless Lemos can find a finish, I just don't see her winning here. Marina Rodriguez is a pretty good all-around fighter. And I'm going to side with Marina Rodriguez here. But like I said, nothing will shock me, guys. But I'm going to take Marina Rodriguez here. Hopefully, if Marina wins, she can get the winner of Zhang and Sparza. If Rose isn't next. So these are my predictions, guys, for UFC Fight Night. Rodriguez versus Lemos. Predictions: Marina Rodriguez, Daniel Rodriguez, Josh Parisian, Nate Maness, Mark Madsen, Nuerdanbieke, Miranda Maverick, Mario Bautista, Frey, Johnny Munoz Jr., Jake Hadley, Ramona Pascual.